You had a console when you were younger, or you were related to or friends with someone who had a console, you probably heard about the console war. You'd be sitting in class and someone would be like, oh, well, give me your Xbox gamer tag. And that kid would be like, well, actually, I use a PlayStation. It's like, oh, PlayStation? And I mean, heaven forbid you said you played on a fucking mobile device, but I digress. Since the pandemic hit in about 2020, there's been a lot less talks about the console war. And I think personally it's switched from it being a war on which console is better to which music streaming service is superior, probably because most of us that were playing consoles now have jobs and either don't have the time or energy to play video games anymore, but who doesn't love a little bit of music? But like, really, I don't think it matters too much, if I'm being completely honest. People are allowed to have their preferences. It's the same thing with the console war. You know, I don't really like YouTube Music because when I have it on the mobile app, you have to pay to be able to like close the app or have it playing in the background while you do other things, and you can't turn your screen off either because then the music just stops. But at the same time, YouTube Music also applies when you're listening to music on a computer while you're doing stuff, and you can tab out then. So it kind of cancels out a little bit, I guess, then. But I'm not sure. I just don't really like YouTube Music. But some people might. I know people who that's the number one music streaming service they use, probably because they pay for it. But, you know, YouTube is probably the largest place that a bunch of exclusive songs get dropped, because some artists will drop just music videos or audios to something on YouTube only because that's all they really feel like doing, and it's one of the only streaming services I don't think you need to pay in order to be able to upload onto. Another common app for those kinds of things is like SoundCloud, and I used to be like a SoundCloud whore because there's a lot of exclusive songs on there that aren't on other streaming platforms. But sadly, they don't really pay their artists too much, and they're kind of being boycotted by a lot of their, not bigger artists, but somewhat big artists. And I mean, that's respectable. People are going to have their preferences depending on what they're looking for, such as YouTube Music or SoundCloud or Tidal or fucking Last FM. I think the only thing that should matter in that realm is if you're listening to an artist's music and you really want to support them, is to stream it on something that pays them more per stream. I think at the moment it's like Tidal that has the largest payout per stream. It's like almost 2 cents, I think. The amount of time it takes for that kind of money to get into someone's account, I think, is a lot longer than other streaming service platforms. But I mean, if you want to support your artist, like, I mean, really support your artist without, you know, if they don't have donations available or something, consider streaming them on a platform that pays them more. That is like the only reason I feel like we should have a debate on what streaming service is better. But the big two that I hear about, fairly common actually, is the whole war between Spotify and Apple Music, whichever one's better. And personally, I don't give a fuck, because there's people that have iPhones that still use Spotify. Some people prefer what Spotify offers, some people prefer Apple Music. Besides the payout, I think Apple Music pays twice as much. But people I've gone to school with have genuinely been like, hey, send me some of the music you like, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I have a Spotify playlist, and they'll be like, Spotify? Like, it's not that deep. It's just music at the end of the day. I was actually talking to someone recently, and they're like, oh, well, you know, Spotify, the only thing they have going for them is the old Spotify Wrapped. And, I mean, we have Apple Music Wrapped, or whatever the fuck they were talking about. And it's in way more detail, and you get more detailed analytics. It's fucking music. What do you need detailed analytics for? I just want to know what my top artists were and my top genres, and then maybe a playlist of like stuff that I can find and come back to later and be like, oh, these are artists you might like, or like, these are your top artists and your top songs, which Spotify does just fine. I don't need all the heebity-jeebity mumbo-jumbo that comes with the Apple Music Wrapped, supposedly. Because Spotify Wrapped will just go, hey, in 2023, your top artist was Eric DOA. Here's some music you might like because of it. Here's a playlist of your top songs. Have at it, you freak. But Apple Music in their Wrapped will just get so detailed for no reason. It'll just be like hey, so in 2023, we noticed you had a foot fetish. One of your favorite pastimes while listening to music on our platform is actually putting baby oil on the wheels of disabled people's wheelchairs and watching them try and go up handicapped ramps. And you also listened to Ghetto Princess by Sexy Red for 10,000 minutes this year, so congrats. And you're like, Jesus, man, who would ever listen to that much Sexy Red? Anyways, that's gonna be all for the video. I have a lot of stuff coming. I just gotta get everything ready and recorded, and some stuff animated, believe it or not. So hopefully that'll be pretty fun. If you guys enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share with a friend, because if you enjoyed it, they might also as well. But without further ado, be good people, and peace.